the Demetra K Show, where we are here every Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people. First off, I'd like to say thank you to Donovan for everything he does with the bells and the whistles and all of that, providing the lunch sometimes I eat.
Girl gotta eat.
Girls gotta eat. Yeah. Also, thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything he does and making the show go as far as it does. And thank you to Facebook, the Ride or Die audience, who is the other part of the conversation that we have here every Sunday and Friday. Thank you to everybody on the podcast. There's so many to name. So we're not calling in today. We don't have a phone today. That's okay. We're still kind of trying to get used to the whole phone thing. But anyway, so thank you, podcast audience, for tuning in. And to YouTube, you guys will see this in its full glory. And if you're not already subscribed, please do so to this channel, where you will always find insightful and enlightenment commentary. Well, most of the time. And so let's get into it. Hello, Facebook. How are you? And I will get to every last one of you guys' comments. And so, how are you today?
Doing good. It's still a little cold out here. You guys were on my Facebook page. You saw that. One thing about Southern California, we live in the desert, but 30 minutes away is the beach. We got the desert. We got Hollywood, whatever. We got mountains.
Vegas is 222 miles up the road.
About 3 hours away. Mm-hmm. Mexico's 90 miles south. But the rain happened and snow fell on the mountains.
Right.
And it's just beautiful here. That's what makes it really hard to leave this place, because you got everything. People say Southern California doesn't have 4 seasons. Yeah, we do. Just our 4 seasons happens in a couple of days.
Right.
So.
And then it's hot as hell.
Right.
So anyway, you guys, I hope you guys saw the topic. And the topic is, and please bear with me because I'm still kind of going over this in my mind, if you will. But the topic
are you devastated?
I wouldn't say devastated.
Look, if Mom was here, God rest her soul, I know Mom would fall out. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
My Mom is probably just drinking right now.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. So anyway, the topic is BillyDWilliams. They caught the big fish. So just yesterday, we learned that BillyDWilliams came out as gender fluid, right? Which means to identify with both male and female genders.
Well, he is a twin.
He is a twin. He has a twin sister. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, but first, who is BillyDWilliams? He is an African-American actor and singer who was also known as an iconic sex symbol. He got national attention when he starred in the Emmy-nominated film Brian's Song in 1971.
With?
Hell if I know somebody, some white man. But anyway, that's not what's important here.
Okay, got it.
From that point, his career took off. He became a leading man in films like Lady Sings the Blues and Mahogany opposite Diana Ross. However, many from all walks of life and age groups know him as Lando Calrissian from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. He was this iconic figure in the Star Wars franchise, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, we'd be here forever trying to list all of his accolades. Right? So more than anything, I think it is safe to say that BillyDWilliams was a ladies' man or a heartthrob. Most of the ladies thought he was the finest thing on 2 feet. For the younger generation, what Idris Elba is today, as far as a sex symbol is concerned, that's what BillyDWilliams was back then, okay? Fine, hot, melting chocolate. Okay, I'm back. That wasn't in my notes, though, but I digress.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing unless you have somebody that you love to share it with.
All right, now. Okay, so I also remember, as you said, my mom was very fond of Billy. Now, back to him being gender fluid. In a recent interview with Esquire magazine, Williams said the following: I say himself and herself because I also see myself as feminine as well as masculine.
Oh, Lord.
I am a very soft person. I am not afraid to show that side of myself. Williams added, I never try to be anything except myself. I think of myself as a relatively colorful character who doesn't take himself or herself too seriously. Now, many have applauded and supported him for coming out as binary, if that's the other term, or gender, or gender fluid. Others, such as myself, was shocked, okay? until I gave it some thought, then it hit me. You know, they caught the big fish, the triple OG. That's who they caught, right? You see, it's no secret that there's an agenda to effeminize the black man.
Yes.
Why? Because as the late, great Francis Cress Welsing always said, white people are afraid of white genetic annihilation.
Which is what's happening.
Yes, so white genes are recessive, meaning that they are weaker than black genes. It's a fact. Look it up if you don't believe me. That being said, as long as black men are allowed to walk the planet free, straight, and virile, he is a threat to white survival. Therefore, all efforts to lock him up, emasculate him, and cause him not to procreate, and especially procreate with white women, everything to stop that, him being who he is, must be in full effect. Now, honestly, I think BillyDWilliams was paid to come out as gender fluid. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to figure out what gender fluid is, so forgive me. I'll try my best to answer that. Now, one, because the new Star Wars movie is coming out, and I guess it's the last one in the franchise, the last Star Wars movie
in this series,
out.
In this saga.
In this series, this saga, whatever that means, right? And two, it's a further attack on black masculinity. It's like saying, if Billy, a strapping black sex symbol, can be comfortable calling himself a herself as well, you can too. You can do, go ahead.
Never.
Go, do it.
Never.
Do it.
Never.
Okay?
I'm a success! I'm a success and you can't stand it!
Is that
Diana Ross,
yes.
remember Mahogany?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I saw many black men on my timeline proclaiming that they realize that Billy's coming out is a calculated attack, and no matter what they, in quotations, say, they are still black men who are proud to be a he, him, and a man unapologetically.
Absolutely.
Let's talk. So I'm going to get to you guys' comments. I hope all of that makes sense. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out what this whole gender fluid, binary, he, they, them. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what to do. So anyway, hello to everybody on here.
It's almost like the day when my mom found
Martina.
out.
Hey, Diddy.
Teddy Pendergrass got in that accident.
Man.
I was like, Mom, you don't even know the man.
They said, turn back on the lights.
Yes.
Blow that damn candle out.
Because the party's over. It's crazy.
Hey, Cindy says, listening while driving in an ice storm.
Oh,
hey,
wow.
fam, Code 45 has a different meaning. Be safe, Cindy. For some of you guys who don't know the Code 45 reference, it was these in the 80s, late 70s. Yeah. Beer, this malt liquor is what it was. And,
always.
You know, he was just smooth as the malt liquor going down. You know, BillyDWilliams was fine. And, you know, all of that. He's 82 now. You know,
remember that spoof on Living Color when Keenan Ivan Rainzy did it? Hello, ladies. I'm
right. But just to that, I mean, everybody knew or knows BillyDWilliams as this big time sex symbol.
Yeah, woman, ladies, man.
Panty dropper, if I could say that. You
yes.
know, not mine because he's too old for me, but you know, my mama and them generation, it's just Billy D.
Billy D.
All of that, you know. Hey, Grayson, what's happening? And then Ricky says, Demetri Donovan, what's good?
Good. And notice a lot of his movies after Lady Sings the Blues, he was always cast as like a rogue type, smooth operator.
Yeah, because he played in Dynasty.
Right.
Opposite Diane Carroll.
Because his character in Star Wars was the scoundrel Lando Calrissian. But
he was still smooth.
Because remember when he met Princess Leia? Well, what do we have here?
Right.
You know, Lando. You know, he's smooth.
Lando.
Yeah, he's like Lando.
Right. Hey, Steve says, laugh out loud. He's old and starting to be senile, so don't know better. But you guys remember when Quincy Jones did the same thing? Not the same thing as, he kind of alluded to some homosexuality and threw Michael Jackson and all them up under the bus.
Don't you ever talk about Michael Jackson? Not Michael.
Marvin Gaye, he threw them all under the bus. You know, it's like, so maybe it's some senility going on there. I don't know.
No, what it is not only has the baby boomers pulled up the ladder, they're burning the motherfucker to make sure that we can't reach it at all. They're saying we're leaving nothing, you know, for y'all to deal with. It's sad.
Dee Dee says, my mama said, don't forget Colt 45 beer commercials, Billy D.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. It's like, I mean, I'm 48 now. I remember all of that.
Yep.
You know, I remember the Colt 45 commercials.
And that commercial Soul Train. It was being the book of Soul Train.
Right. Right. Slick malt liquor pool.
Hey, brothers, if you really want to get with that nice looking lady. You know,
right. He by the bar. You know. And he didn't even have a beer can, was it? It was like in a glass.
Yeah, it's in a glass and stuff like that. You know, like a girl wants to get on you with beer breath, but go ahead.
Malt liquor. You know. And Bernina says, I think he has dementia, laugh out loud. What the hell is gender fluid? That's a new one on me. I mean, this is like, I was researching this a little bit this morning, and there's like this, bear with me, it's like LGBTQ2TIA. It's a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, goddammit. Wait. Huh?
Can we add blackness to that since they add to our group?
No, you can't add that.
Oh, we're not a part of their, but they can be part of our group.
The other Q is questioning. If you're questioning your sexuality, I guess.
Ain't no way
hey,
in
Arson, what's
hell.
happening? And Huey's, it says, tune in. They're very knowledgeable. So you tagging somebody. Thank you. And Berdina says, sure enough foolishness, please. I mean, it's just like, I'm trying to be respectful because I know there's a lot of people in the LGBTQ, in all that community. And so I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying. I don't even know if I'm trying to understand it because, you know, my daughter is, you know, in the generation behind us. And so she understands all of that. And sometimes she says, Mom, you know, you shouldn't say those things or that's not how it is. But I'm like, I'm from the old school. So I'm trying to really understand. I guess
I ain't trying to understand a damn thing.
Because I don't, like I said, I don't want to be disrespectful. But what...
Isn't it disrespectful that we raise them to be boys and they act like girls?
I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared to answer it. Hey, Asada, you say, poor Billy, they're taking this dementia thing too far, shaking my head. Wonder how much he was paid for this. That's what it's got to be a check behind this. Donovan's adjusting some things,
sorry, go ahead.
No worries. It's got to, I'm assuming there's a check. I looked at, he's worth about $9 million. So BillyDWilliams is not broke. He's 82 years old. So he's got some money.
But he doesn't have any children.
He does have children.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he does have children. He's married to Wayne Shorter's ex.
Okay, gotcha.
They've been married since 1972, so they got a daughter or something like that.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's trying to be relevant. I never thought BillyDWilliams was irrelevant, if you will. I think the last thing I saw him in personally was Undercover Brother.
Undercover Brother and Batman around the same genre.
General's Fried Chicken. Maybe he has some of that General Fried Chicken. You know, and it's just kind of just... Let me be respectful here. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then Cindy says, no, I think Hollywood caused this. You think Hollywood has something to do with this? It's possible. And hey, Daisy says, good afternoon. Listening while cleaning. Yeah.
Yes.
And Cindy says, however, Pop warned us about Quincy Jones. Yes, he did. And now my brother, who knows a lot of people inside of the entertainment industry, said he's talked to quite a few entertainers who said Quincy Jones was about that life, for a lack of better words, and even propositioned them. And, you know, they said no, and their career was like, okay, 86
are we surprised? I mean, the Hollywood lifestyle there to get in there, it's like a cult within itself. So I'm not saying, you know, you got to sell your soul, but you practically have to be willing to do
some strange things
for the change.
That's
exactly.
Right. And Asada says, who's old enough to remember when the truth came out about Rock Hudson and had all those ladies pissed? Yes, I remember.
Yeah, but see, the funny thing is, I remember Rock Hudson from his movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're fairly young,
but the black and whites.
Yeah, the black and whites and stuff when he was Icon Lucy and stuff like that.
Ladies,
but
man.
It was known in Hollywood for years that this man was gay.
But back then, this is the difference between Hollywood now and then. Back then, that was
studio system.
But that would have finished you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If that was widely known about you, that would have finished you off. You know?
Here you are, this rough and tough, guy in the Green Berets, and find out that you're a booby wrestler.
Also to that, Asada, when a lot of his leading ladies found out, they went and got an AIDS test, because it was found out that he had he was homosexual and then he ended up with AIDS. A lot of his leading ladies were horrified because people didn't know a lot about AIDS then. They went and got all these AIDS tests and they were suing and this, that, and the other.
Well, remember, it's funny, like he had like dropped off. Nobody had seen him for years.
Right.
And then when he appeared,
here's
this guy that was like he's a solid white guy.
He's a big time, sex symbol.
And then he came back and he was this skinny, shelled man.
And Didi says the whole damn alphabet in that acronym. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I didn't know,
Another thing is you guys got to really think about, I was scrolling through the news today and they were talking about all these stars that are going into their late 70s and 80s. Icons that are just going. Yeah. I mean, they haven't died, but they're getting up there. Right. Well, and we don't think about that. Like,
I guess, And he says, yes, F all that bullshit. They stay trying to force their agenda on us. And I think he also say, yes. And I think that's what we really need to realize. This is an agenda. A lot of people say, no, it's not. We should let people be people. Listen, it's not a lot about not letting people be people, if you will. It's about just speaking the truth. And there is an agenda. And if you call what I said at the beginning, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who is no longer here, her life's work was talking about the institutional racism and the genetic annihilation of black men. And so we see that now.
And they're doing a good job.
And so when I saw it, like I said, I was like, God, they got a big fish. Next, who is what? Obama's going to come out?
Well, what was the rumor they tried to spread that Michelle was a man?
Nah, that's so silly. I couldn't even get stupid and silly at the same time. It's silly. It's stupid. Hey, Charles, just says, good afternoon, evening, D, and Donovan, and a group of SOP. And Arson says, I really don't know what's going on out there. Did the black actor from the old show New York Undercover say the same thing as Malik Yoba? Oh, my God. Malik Yoba. How or why is it these claims suddenly come out? Nah, there's something.
Well, maybe they're trying to get work.
Oops. There's something behind this all, if you ask me. I think so, too. I don't think this is a coincidence that, hey, by the way, I mean,
But what kills me is they take the most masculine type dudes in our, in the culture, and they just feminize them.
And then Tank said something not too long ago about if you give a dude another dude blowjob twice. I'm with you on that one, Arson. Hey, BillyDWilliams. I know BillyDWilliams. He's our friend of mine on Facebook. He's like, Lord.
Right in me. Yeah.
Hey, Diego. He says, not at all. Don't blame Hollywood. Okay, well, do tell. Give us.
Yeah, give us some feedback.
Honestly, Hollywood is not the originator, but they are the perpetuator, if you will. There's obviously a bigger entity out there that's stirring the pot, if you will. And Berdini says, why are you still trying to be relevant at 82? I mean...
Because baby boomers are the most selfish generation that we've seen so far in the history of the United States. Everybody has walked away after their time and just said, okay, good example like this. My mom working a federal job. She doesn't have to work a federal job. But, she wants to work. I'm not saying if you want to work, you want to work. But if you're working... I can't get that job, and I can't take care of my kids. But what do baby boomers say? And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Who's taking care when the grandbabies need something? The grandparents, the baby boomers. And we let them. So, there it is.
And then so Charles says, I'm shocked to hear that BillyDWilliams is still breathing.
Yikes. That's what that article was talking about, these old icons that you think is dead, but they're still alive.
Y'all wrong. You wrong for that one.
Right. No, but seriously, because you don't hear from him for years, you're thinking, oh, that guy's probably passed on.
You didn't, if you're not... Hearing that BillyDWilliams is gender fluid is just, to me, is just as shocking as hearing that he died. He's alive, but I'm saying if we were to hear that he's died, I'm like, oh my God, Billy D, oh gosh.
My mom is probably drinking
some brown liquor drink. She drinking her some Colt 45. Bernita says, I heard that Quincy Jones was strange. Yes, I've heard that from quite a few people. That Quincy Jones is...
But have you guys noticed in the entertainment industry, especially the theater and
Sidney says, didn't Cat Warner's? Yes, he did.
These people are in there. That's the... I'm not saying it's the culture, but there's a lot of people that are, whatever, LGBTQ, elemental P, AGG. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Diego, you're replying to Charles, he says, laugh out loud, you are saying he should have kept that to his grave as he may be close. You know what? This is going to sound kind of jacked up, and I don't mean to, but yeah. I think he should have kept that one to himself.
And that way he could remain an icon.
But so wait. Now hold on, there's more. Because now, let's keep it real, okay? Black people have helped Billy D become Billy D.
Right.
Let's keep it real. So now he's gone on to the next level of acceptance by who?
Exactly.
The LGBTQ community. And they are just like, oh, it's so great. Oh, it's so awesome. He's a hero.
Well,
he's speaking up. I mean, that's what they're saying.
Well, I'm kind of glad that you brought that up because this brings back a prior show. And if you guys are interested in knowing prior shows, go to Demetra K's YouTube channel. All her shows are there. She talked about this in regards to Kevin Hart, where they tried to make him apologize for something that he did.
Yes.
And my point of what I'm saying here is this. The LGBTQ elemental people, these people, whoever they are very powerful in Hollywood. So if you want to work, you might have to bow down to the dear leader, whoever that might be.
Whoever that is.
Do what you got to do.
Yes. And then and Sydney says, didn't Jamie warn us as well? Jamie Foxx. And then Arthur says, I believe exactly what Donovan just hinted. Hollywood does have this thing going on where if you don't do certain things, quote unquote, your careers and opportunities will be blocked.
Exactly.
To me, it's almost the same as the casting couch. You guys are familiar, maybe not familiar. I hope you're not familiar.
I hope you're not familiar, especially you ladies.
Yeah, but the casting couch is, well, if you want this role, you darling starlet, you need to lay down.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, exactly. What Harvey Weinstein did, he's used the casting couch and he's still free as a bird.
Free as a bird.
While Bill Cosby, if you guys didn't catch that interview, a reporter called
him. Hell, I'm not going to admit I did anything.
Yeah, he says, I'm not going to apologize. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm here because of racism. He said, I was sentenced to 3 to 10 years, and I'm probably going to do all 10 years because when you go before the parole board, they want you to say that you're sorry.
Right.
And he says they will never hear that from me. So therefore, I'm just going to make this a comfy place until I get out. If they don't let me out and he doesn't win appeal.
And I'm not supporting Bill Cosby and anything that he's done. When you have to drug a man to sleep with you, that was a man, right? That was a man, right? It looked like a man. Look at the picture anyway.
I support Bill Cosby.
No. I don't support what he did, but I do support his stance because, like I said, a grown person, somebody gives me something like a Quaalude.
Hey, Jonelle.
No, I'm not going to take any drugs from you because you're not a doctor.
You know what? I support Bill Cosby, and I'll say this. Should he have used Quaaludes and all that? No. Didn't those ladies know what they was getting into? Yes,
they did.
The only crime that Bill Cosby did, not to even take it off topic, that Bill Cosby did was doing what white people do and thought he can get away with it. That's the only thing he's guilty of.
I agree with you on that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because, he, again, Harvey's free as bird and he's up in there, with some just whackness.
Right.
And let's see here. And Dee Dee says, I guess gender fluid means denoting or relating to a person who does not identify themselves as having a fixed gender, relating to both male and female. And yes, and so there's a lot of people, and I've actually saw and heard men say, well, which is true, we all have feminine and masculine energies, if you will. But I've never referred to myself as, if I, for whatever reason or however being masculine feels, if I've ever felt masculine, I've never said, well, he sure is, on one today. Whoo! I'm talking about myself. I never referred to myself as a man.
In third party.
But I do hear men, especially homosexual men, gay men, however you want to say it, refer to themselves as she.
Right. Now,
a mother.
Now, let me ask you this, and then this is a general question. Maybe somebody else is thinking the same thing. I get a lot of my tendencies from my mom, not feminine qualities, but a lot of her qualities of thriftiness and things like that. Would that be?
No.
Okay.
No, because you don't have to. Thriftiness is not a male trait. I mean,
female
trait.
No. What I'm saying is, I got a lot of my traits, my look. I get from my mom.
I think that's probably true for most everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
From your mom,
your dad, exactly.
But I identify as a woman, and I've learned a lot from my dad, but that don't mean I'm walking around grabbing them. Not that my dad does that if he's watching that. Or whatever, whatever makes me identify as I don't illustrate that, if you will. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And thank you, Chantel. She has put up the link. So if you are in the watch parties, come on inside so I can actually see your comments, because I can't see them in the watch parties. But welcome anyway to everybody who is new here. And Berdini says, I am a baby boomer, and I understand what you said, Donovan, but Donovan, I pull in the towel and retire. So she put in the towel and she retired.
And you know what? And God bless you too, because I wish more baby boomers would, I mean, how much money do you need? That's what you're supposed to do. But unfortunately, the greed is unbelievable. And because those other baby boomers aren't doing that, we can't raise our children. We can't find jobs. And we're more educated and more...
and it's not even just jobs. Yeah. It's in politics.
Right.
It's everywhere. We Donovan and I have gone.
It's become generational stacking.
Yeah, we've gone to a couple of circles, especially in the black community. Mm-hmm. And no shade to anybody. I'm not trying to engage in ageism or nothing like that. But some of these people, they just won't let it go.
They should have left a long time ago.
I mean, some of these people sitting in stuff like the youth divisions of stuff, and these are older cats, like in their 60s and 70s, trying to tell the youth how to move, and it's like...
And times have changed. And another good example is there's an aero club at the base, and they have these older cats that were there, and, they were in their 30s when they started the club, and now they're in their 70s.
Right.
The club is dying because they didn't reach out to younger people because they wanted their little group.
Right.
And that's a big problem to why, a good example, the NAACP right now. You go to your local NAACP, ain't nobody in there. Young. I mean, you might get a few young girls, and after a while, they
run them off.
Yeah.
Right. And so Asada says, is the letter F for fluid now a part of LGBTQ? Hey, you know what? I'm going to say yes. Because when I looked at it, I saw a whole bunch of letters. I was like, it was long. Hey, Erica, he says, personally, I think folks in Hollywood will be gender fluid for the right amount. I'm just saying. Oh, absolutely. It's just like, Billy D.
Well, everybody's got a price.
Yeah, but you're an icon. You're this. That to me is almost. It would be just as devastating if Denzel Washington.
Not Denzel. Not Denzel. Please don't say Denzel.
It was just.
Now I know him and his wife have an open marriage, but he's still.
But it would be, to me, it would be that devastating if he says, well, from time to time, I do call myself a her.
Yeah, boy.
I'm not trying to be funny, but yeah,
my God,
I agree with Erica. For the right amount, I think a lot of people would say,
everybody has a price.
What is gender fluid exactly?
Yes.
Yes. And Dee Dee says, listen to what Dave Chappelle said. Quote, it's something strange and sick going on in the industry, selling your sexuality for a little coin. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's why he had issues and checked out for a while, because he was like, they kept wanting him
to wear dresses.
Stuff. He's like, I could be funny without a dress. Mm-hmm. Why do you want me to wear a dress so bad?
And I just want everybody to think about this. And this is my question for you, Dee. Here's a guy who's a grandfather, might even be a great grandfather, right? Could be. If he's coming out saying that, what kind of example is that for the younger people? They're confused. But
that's why I called him the big fish. Because if you have the big fish saying these things, then it would make it okay, probably, to other, men such as yourself and, younger men to say, okay. And we see it a lot. So I don't know if it's a phenomenon in the black community, especially black males, but we're seeing this quite a bit.
Yeah, because when we were in Africa, all the black males, not all of them, but there was a lot of them.
Yeah, I was shocked to see it in Africa. I don't know why it was, but it just was. And so Jonelle says it's always, hello, I think I said hi to you, says it's always has been an agenda of the masculinity of black males, just as the birth control for males whose best interest does Billy announcement serve. Why even be loud about it if it's natural? It doesn't need to be validated. But as our brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad reps, the gay agenda towards us is clear and evident via the chemicals in weed, food, etc. media. They fear us in our natural state of black moral manhood. Absolutely. Black, and I think that's what black men especially need to understand. If you don't already, I'm sure you guys do. You guys are a threat and my brother says this all the time. He says just being a black man is a threat. Yeah. But if you look beneath the surfaces, like you said, and like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said, it's more to it because you guys have the power to take them out. Now, not by killing them, like by a bullet, but killing them, as she would say, by the penis. Because,
domination.
It's domination. It's a known fact, for the most part, that when a black male lies with a white woman or whatever,
or
the baby
any
doesn't
woman
come
of
out
any culture,
white, it comes out browner, if you will.
Right. We brown them out.
So,
but I'm glad you brought that up, because remember when we were in the Seychelles, which is where all the rich people go? Mm-hmm. They were looking at us like, what the hell y'all walking around? Why ain't y'all working?
We're not busting a grape, okay? Excuse me. And Charles, he said, I'm so glad Dave Chappelle refused to put on that dress. Mm-hmm. We need more brothers like Chappelle and less of these compromised sellouts. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. He was like, then they called him crazy. He lost his mind. He went over to Africa for medical care and all this other stuff. He's like, no, it just wasn't crazy. I just need to get away.
You remember on Friday you mentioned the CEO of Twitter going over to Africa. He'll be over there for 3 months, and he says he's going over there. Gold digging.
That's what he's going to be over there.
He's going over there for the opportunity to buy a lot of land and mineral rights and all that other stuff. So Africa is the place to go.
And Diego, he says, so true about Bill Cosby. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And here we say... they said Obama's not black because his mom is white. What y'all think? Well, I mean, he's black. Well, his dad is black.
Yeah. Well, according to the way it's been since whenever, the child is usually what the father is. That's why when you see, a good example is my mom's a Hearst. She married my father, which means if I did any crimes and raped and pillaged everything, in the newspaper, what's going to be said? It's going to say my dad's family name. This guy did that. It was usually paternal. Now the names are now becoming more maternal under the mother's name.
Whether your mama or your daddy, yes, I said okay, is black. You want to know something?
Yeah, in this country, right.
Your ass is black.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
In the story, I mean, because my thing is this, and I hear a lot of people say Obama's black.
Yeah, he's
regardless
black.
if he act like it or not most of the time. Obama is black. But I think we get in too far into,
but he's not ADOS black.
What difference do it make? I follow the teachings of Marcus Garvey. Okay. Marcus Garvey was about Pan-Africanism, and that, listen, no matter where your black ass live on the planet, you black. And white people do not separate the difference between you being an African, you being Jamaican, you being African American,
Aboriginal.
Your ass is black. We need to get on one agenda and get the hell out of here.
Gotcha.
Okay, all this division and stuff. It's just convoluting what we need to do, whatever that might be at this point, right? And so, hey Carlos, what's happening? And Al says, at the game, watching y'all, waiting for the team to put it on the jumbo screen. They gonna hear what we talking about and turn that sucker right off. Okay?
Right off. But with all of this confusion for our children and the lack of fathers in the home, don't you think that we need to pay attention as black men and start taking responsibility to be there to really direct and lead our children where they need to go?
You think? Hey, Russell, he says Bill Cosby didn't drug anyone. Bill Cosby gave the woman drugs to have sex. That was the deal or the agreement.
It was the 70s.
Don't believe everything the media tells you. Right. They aren't anti, have always been extremely anti-black. No, listen, I'm one of those people who are unapologetically a Bill Cosby supporter. I ain't one of those ones on the fence, well, he shouldn't have, would have. No, I 100% support Bill Cosby. I believe he was the scapegoat for this Me Too stuff. You don't even know where those Me Too women are anymore.
Yeah,
where
right now,
are they?
Right now. And then there was another incident that happened to a woman. Me Too was nowhere to be found to defend this woman.
Yeah, I mean, where's Me Too? They got what they wanted and they left. Bill Cosby was the scapegoat for all of this, for most of the nonsense, because the men that they originally targeted. Now remember, Bill Cosby was targeted really way before this Me Too thing even jumped off. Now you have Kevin Spacey that dropped all the charges against him. Kevin Weinstein.
Kevin Weinstein.
Whatever his name is, Weinstein, whatever. He is still free. They dropped a lot of charges against him. Like, you don't even
Robert
hear
Kraft.
And a lot of these dudes, their careers are starting to come back because they got the big fish.
Wait a minute.
They got the black man, Bill Cosby, who has always, I don't care what nobody says, because I know a lot of people like to bring up that whole pound cake when he was trying to, the speech where he was castigated, which he apologized for. He said he now knows that he should have went about it a different way, but what he was saying was right. We need to take accountability for the stuff we do as black people, right?
Absolutely.
But Bill Cosby was waking up, and he always has been, waking up black people. We all know the Cosby Show. That was a very positive time in black history,
depiction of black families,
different world, to show black children that you too can go to college and get an education, all this other stuff. And so they needed to get him out of the way. That's what that was about. Period.
Well, it's not even just him. Now you've got, and like I said, R. Kelly's a douchebag. It's almost the same situation.
Right.
You know?
And Marcus says that shit is sick, sad, and crazy. And Jonelle says, when the black nation stand up in principle and morality, the wicked will cry for separation. This world fear the God being bloom in us. We are born to be the embodiment of the truth, supreme beings. And you can't be a true supreme being in lies and immorality. Low moral being means devil, aka devile. Or defiled, if you will. No, absolutely. I mean, it's really up to you guys as black men, to realize who you are. And I'll tell you guys a short story. Well, let me get to Erica. Let me get some of these comments really quick. And Erica says, boomers are staying in the workforce longer because they are raising kids from our generation.
Yes. Well, a lot of them are. They use that excuse. But the real reason the boomers are staying there is because you guys were the first generation that had the opportunities that were opened up because of Lyndon B. Johnson signing all these opportunities. And, when you come from, a lot of us that come from abject poverty, the thought of like losing that, or I won't have this position anymore, so if I don't stay because there's nobody behind me, I
think a lot of it too is economics. I mean, a lot of people really cannot afford to retire. It's just a fact. You know, I read an article the other day saying that now you're seeing more senior citizens, if you will, working fast food. When back in the day, it was more like a teenager job.
Right, but see, that's because of the lifestyle that our parents started living. And I'm not saying all of us.
No.
But I'm saying they got to have the Beamer. Where do you think we learned that? We got to have the Jordans. We got to have this.
And a lot of it too is inflation has not kept up.
Right, exactly.
Our income has not kept up with inflation. Right.
But at the same time, there are jobs out there that, let's say, it's a high school. You guys come out of high school, you can get the job.
Right.
Federal job. Now, the same exact job that my mom has.
You got to promote up, go to school.
Yeah, you got to have a bachelor's degree.
Right.
She didn't have a bachelor's degree, and she's got the job. But now they've closed that door as they move up.
And so Diego says it's also affected by upbringing of some, as some people take a while to know what they want or who they represent. Well, I can see that. I don't know who I am yet. I get all of that, but
shouldn't you have figured that out between the time you were 1 year old and maybe 16, 17?
Some people don't. Some people, hell, black people still run around here with no knowledge of self. That's a whole other topic.
Damn.
And so Dee says, I'll be mad as hell if Denzel came out, child. Exactly. And Diego says, how do you feel about the teaching in school? So if you were talking about them teaching the LGBTQ
totally against
agenda,
it. Thank God I have no kids in school.
I'm against it. I'm not against gay people. I'm against that being taught to children. I think that should be a personal choice with their parents to teach them that. I don't think they should be having drag queens and all of that coming into the school. It's scary to me. I'm sure it'd be scary to a 3-year-old, right? And
but as a parent, shouldn't you have a problem with the school teaching something that is objective to what you would teach your children?
Well, I think that should be my choice, regardless. Right. You don't take that upon yourself, school, to teach my child something that I haven't even, that I may not want them to know about just yet, right? Okay. And Jonelle says, Billy D has always been regulated, and as Professor Griff and so many have taught about that Zionist-owned Hollywood, a.k.a. Hollywood casting couch, it shows whom fear truly are semen and our ability to dominate in a reproductive manner. What does same-sex truly produce? Not life. just a lot of non-productive masturbators acting. We are feared and our nature is feared. The agenda to keep us moving in a low moral slave state, chasing our feeling is clear and evident. Absolutely.
Right.
Like to your point, 2 men can't procreate. It's a fact. Right?
Well, they've said, the government statistics said that for the 3rd year in a row, the population of the United States has declined.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of it is because of people are just like, hey, can't have kids.
Well, a lot of the millennials are like, I can't afford to have kids.
Right.
So.
And Billy D says,
why is that? Because the baby boomers won't leave.
And Billy D says, here for the BS. I bet you are. And Charles is replying to Dee Dee, says that would be very disturbing. Yeah. And they're talking about Denzel. Mm-hmm. And Russell says, I think everybody in the entertainment industry are homosexuals, except for maybe Dave Chappelle. They have to commit homosexual acts to get the job or the contracts. I don't think everybody is. I think a lot of people probably have done something against what they would have wanted to do to get the job, but I don't think everybody is or has done it.
Yeah, and you know, and it isn't always a sexual connotation. I used to go on auditions in LA and stuff like that. Sometimes, like, you know, you got to take a role that you wouldn't necessarily want to take. That might be a compromise to you and what you got to do because you want to work. Unfortunately, some people make that decision. But another spoof, Hollywood Shuffle. Remember that part in Hollywood Shuffle where the black guy was playing the slave with the white woman? And, you know, and then go, oh, I love you, Mandingo. And he was like, he runs, and then he gets out and he has an English accent.
Right.
Stuff like that, you know. So you're going to pay some way, somehow, some way.
Right. And Al says, my mom said the lady at the church last week who counts the collection money was supposed to deposit it in the bank and took it home. Oh my God.
Lord have mercy.
She said, y'all gonna do the same thing I'm gonna do with it.
Right. No, it's almost like Vine Life pastor over here did on the base. How you gonna be a military chaplain and you collecting the collection plate?
I ain't saying no names.
But after 13 years, talk about, God gave me a vision to leave the military. No, motherfucker, we gonna put your ass out on a dishonorable discharge. That's a fact.
Right. That was from Donovan.
Yes.
And Jonelle says it's about keeping our image in a degraded state as black people. This white nation doesn't prosper with us in an upright position, especially when the horizontal position of us is their greatest investment, and they can't rule us in our upright state of divine being, only in the degraded. Absolutely. And that's why I said it's really up for you guys as black men to realize that. And don't let me forget the story I was gonna say.
I want to piggyback on what he just said.
Donovan says, I love the dude. I'm Nancy.
Nancy.
Love the dude. Hi, Donovan. Thank you.
Hey, Nancy. I want to piggyback on what he just said. I was watching 48 Hours. With Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. Notice in the movie 48 Hours, they had Eddie Murphy very over-sexualized. He was on a trim hunt. Yeah. He was always trying to get some...
Oh, yeah.
You know, and if you notice a lot of movies in Hollywood, the black person is always deemed like a sexual...
living in their lower morals or,
The black woman plays the prostitute. You know, all these things, and I'm just like...
Well, because... Listen, you've been in acting and all of that. For them to have us portray those roles, it justifies how they feel about us, and it also reinforces. See, we told you. Yeah. They are the women are whores and oversexed, and these men, that, hide your wives.
Right.
And, it's like the original Birth of the Nation. Where, I forget the name of the guy who made
Bigger Long? No.
Right, Bigger Long, whoever this dude is. He reinforced the stereotype that black men are rapists and they want to rape black women. And none of that has really changed a lot. I mean, I've been hearing a lot about these new movies that's come out. Like you said, the Harriet Tubman movie with the fictional character Bigger Long.
And she went down to the University of Texas, somewhere in Texas, and they gave her the business.
And the new movie that's out, Queen and Slim, I've seen a lot of people say it was good. I saw a lot of people said that the ending was problematic for them. I didn't see it, so I don't even know. Actually, some dude on my timeline gave it away. He says, I don't care. This is the end of the movie. It sucked. Don't go see it. And people were so mad. They're like, I'm blocking you. I'm unfriending you. How dare you give away the ending? But he was like, don't go see it. It's terrible. Just to, they said that it reinforces the whole white savior complex, if you will.
White shadow.
Well, it can't just be a black movie without somebody white coming in.
Well, remember, The White Shadow was based on a bunch of inner city black kids on a basketball team, but every time they had a problem, who solved it for them?
The white coach.
White coach.
Yeah. And so let's see. And Jonelle says also, white women living in those abortion clinics after spring break, after All-Star Week, etc. More so than Black, Asian, and Latin women. Not to mention the toxics that are hindering their progress